Hey guys, Dr. Ben here at FA Well Centers. Thanks for jumping on today. We're going to talk about your thyroid, but in reality, we're going to talk about that it's probably not your thyroid. And that's the fun part about this conversation. Is so many people think that, oh yeah, it's my thyroid. I'm on thyroid medication. I read the little blurb on the internet and they said that if your hair's falling out and you can't lose weight and you've got these issues, it's probably your thyroid. But guess what? It's probably not your thyroid because there's so many other things that are going on that are causing problems with thyroid hormone levels, etc., that it's not actually the thyroid itself that's the problem. So welcome. Give me a thumbs up. Anybody out there that is dealing with some thyroid issues, and if you've been told that it is your thyroid, and if you have your blood work available, if you have your blood work, go grab it. We're going to be talking about TSH. We're going to be talking about antibodies, the T3, T4, all of these different things. So bring that blood work out. Let me know where your levels are at, and I will go over in detail what is truly going on in your body, and that it probably is not your thyroid. So here's the deal. Hey Sharon, good to see you. Pop down below where you guys are watching from. Love to see it. We'll give you a shout out anywhere in the world. But think about this. We know that there is a very high percentage, anywhere from 10 to 20% of women are dealing with hypothyroid. They're dealing with low thyroid in the United States. We know also that 80% of women that have low thyroid also have Hashimoto's. So they've got this autoimmune condition going on. It's either attacking the thyroid or attacking the proteins that help transport those thyroid hormones around the body. So we've got to figure out what is actually going on and if it is just the thyroid. If it's just your thyroid, then taking some iodine, taking some selenium, some different specific nutritionals might be helpful. But for most people, there's other things going on. So I'm going to give you the three biggest things that are contributing to it's not your thyroid, but there's another condition going on. So let me know what you guys have going on. If you're taking levothyroxine, if you've been to an endocrinologist, if you've been all over the world, all these specialists, all these things, and still not getting the results. Here's the deal. Number one reason why people get hypothyroid is what's called Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune condition targeting either the thyroid itself or targeting the proteins that help transport that bus that helps transport the thyroid hormones around the body, and we can attack both of those. And in our blood work with every one of our patients, we test that. We test for those Hashimoto's markers. So here's the deal. That's an autoimmune condition. That is not just I have low thyroid, so go on thyroid medication and make up for that low thyroid activity. Now you're fine. This is an autoimmune degeneration, a declining health status for those thyroid hormones coming out because your thyroid itself is being attacked and not going to be able to produce like it should. Again, I see we got some more people jumping on. Go ahead and pop down below where you guys are watching from, and any questions that you have in regards to your thyroid. So the first reason and the number one reason why it's not your thyroid is that it's an autoimmune condition. Hey, Christina from California, good to see you. So it is an autoimmune condition attacking the thyroid, but you've also got to know which is it. Hey, Meg up in Minnesota, you've got to know whether it's Hashimoto's to the thyroid or Hashimoto's to the thyroglobulin, that protein that helps transport it around. So if you don't know the difference, you might have all the thyroid hormone you can imagine, but if you're not transporting it, that protein isn't there to get it where it needs to be, you're not going to be getting thyroid hormone to those cells. So there's Jessica, TSH 0.74, T4 free, 0.9. These numbers were slightly lower 2 months ago, but started using a thyroid supplement. Yeah, so the free T3, Jessica, at 3.0 or above is pretty darn good. I'd like to see that T4 closer to like 1.1 to 1.2, so maybe a little bit higher on that one. And that TSH less than 1, you can tell that you're trying to stimulate. Are you on thyroid medication? If you are, those numbers should be a little bit higher than that. Kimberly, good to see you there in Delaware, and Lisa, good to see you in Kentucky as well. So yeah, pop down, get your blood work out, pop down those results and let me know. So Jessica, pay attention to what we're going to say for our number 3 thing that I'm going to talk about, because I think that might be what is going on as well. Susan, 0.028, if you're on thyroid medication, you're taking a lot of thyroid medication. And that is that feedback loop, which we'll be talking about here in a second. So number 1 reason why people have low thyroid, and it's not the thyroid itself, is Hashimoto's. So you've got to deal with that autoimmune. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm going to be going live webinar talking in depth about autoimmune and everything you do, whether it's Hashimoto's, MS, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, all these different things. I'll be going in depth, giving you actionable steps that you can do to start getting your life back, and how we help people reverse their autoimmune all the time. So number 1, you've got to fix that autoimmune if you have Hashimoto's. Number 2 is going to be under conversion. So like Jessica's, hers was fine. You know, the T4 a little bit at the lower end, the T3 was at the okay level. But what we look for, if your percentages are off, so if you look even in the lab range, if your T4 is up at the upper level, but your T3 is down at the lower level, even if it's in the right range, but at the different edges, you are under converting. And so if you're taking a T4 medication like levothyroxine, the number 1 best-selling drug in this world, if you're taking that T4 medication and hoping it has to convert into the T3, so if you're hoping that it's going to convert into that T3, but it's not, that T3 is the active usable form of thyroid, meaning that you've got to be able to get that to the tissues, you've got to get that to the cells. If you're not getting that conversion from the T4 to the T3, you are not going to be getting that good oomph that you need out of your thyroid hormones. So there's a lot of people, whether they're not taking medication or whether they are and they're not converting T4 to T3. 93% of hormone that comes out of the thyroid is T4. 7% is T3, but we need good usable form of T3 that's going to get to the cells. And so we have to convert that. Where does that conversion take place? 60% in the liver, 20% is in the intestines, in that digestive tract. So if your liver is not working like it's supposed to, if your digestive tract is not working like it's supposed to, you are not going to be converting. So you could be taking all the levothyroxine in the world, but if you're not converting to T3, you got this beaver dam buildup and you're not going to be getting it where it needs to be. So Leah, hi, I have Hashimoto's. My TPO, it probably auto-corrected there, has been 64 for a year. What can I do to help my condition? So Leah, check out our video. Jess, if you want to put in the link for the webinar tomorrow, so it's going to be a Zoom, we're going to be live and answering questions, a lot of different things. But here's the deal. Also, check out our YouTube channel if you have not already. There's almost 700 videos on there. You can look at, I've got many videos on autoimmune and Hashimoto's, but here's the gist of it. You've got to calm down that autoimmune reaction. You've got to look at the adrenals. You've got to look at stabilizing your blood sugar, look at your estrogen levels. You've got to look at your leaky gut and your food allergens and your infections and all these different things. You've got to get your vitamin D up to 80. And then your body can stop attacking its own tissue and move through this process. So you've got to start that healing process, Leah. Lori, I've been using thyroid supplements for years and my thyroid destroyed itself and literally is no longer on the C-scan, still only thyroid meds, feel horrible every day. So Lori, here's the deal. This is a great example of what happens, even going on medication, going on supplements. And if you don't know that it's Hashimoto's and you're not doing anything to calm down that autoimmune reaction, you're going to continue to attack and destroy your thyroid tissue, your thyroid gland. So then eventually you can't even see yours. And so that's the whole point of just going on levothyroxine, just to give you more T4, and they go, whatever happens with the thyroid happens with thyroid. But here's the deal. In over half the people that have one autoimmune condition, they have multiple. So there's a very good chance that you're attacking something else. You'll never die. You'll just feel horrible every day. But if you start attacking your brain, if you start attacking your spine, if you start attacking your pancreas, you're going to get another autoimmune condition, and that can actually be life-threatening. Autoimmune conditions are the third leading cause of death in the United States when you lump them all together. We have Christina Hashimoto's negative, T4 at 1.2. So, you would also, Christina, you would need to see, did they check the TPO and the TG antibodies? What are your total and free T3 and T4? What's your reverse T3 and what's your TSH? So if you have those, let me know. But otherwise, just knowing your T4 is 1.2 tells me not a whole lot of anything. Yes, awesome, Lisa. I'm gonna bring it. I love this autoimmune one. It definitely hits home on a lot of levels. T4. This is Kimberly. T4 free 1.38. TSH 1.14. Reverse T3 and T3. Yeah, 2.8. There it is. So the free T4 1.38. Anything over 1.2 is great, and this is a great example of what we were just talking about. And that free T3 should be over 3, if not 3.5. So for that 1.38, your T3 should be about 3.5. So you, Kimberly, are probably under converting, and if you're on medication, that tells us some other things as well. But you are probably under converting. You've got to look at your liver. You've got to look at your gut. Work on those. Help that conversion, and that's going to make a big, big difference. The Christina, free T4 at 1.2, T3 total at 102. I would like that closer to 120. On that T3. So probably some under conversion for you as well. Your free T4 is not bad. Christina, glucose random 87 doesn't really tell us a whole lot. We would need to know what your insulin is, what your ferritin is, what your triglycerides are, a lot of different things. Ashley had a thyroiditis a few weeks ago, but TSH normal as well as T3 and T4. They found 2 nodules, had mono in college and COVID twice. So my guess is that they did not test Hashimoto's, and you need to check your TPO and your thyroglobulin, and your T3 and T4 are normal, almost guarantee, either at the very low end, very high end, the ratios are off, something else is wrong. And why do I think it's probably Hashimoto's? Because you have mono. Epstein-Barr virus drives this autoimmunity. So we've got to figure out what's going on in there. So if they did not test those, you need to. Kimberly, not on medicine, use iodine and selenium. Have you tested, Kimberly, for Hashimoto's markers? That's going to be a big, big next step. So here's number 3 that we have to get into. You've got to look at your pituitary gland. The pituitary is actually what kicks out TSH. So when you're looking at your blood work there, you've got your thyroid stimulating hormone, and that is a pituitary hormone. It's not a thyroid hormone. So what does that mean? Well, you've got to go deep and figure out what is actually going on there with your TSH, and not just say, oh, TSH high, that means low thyroid, TSH low, that means high thyroid, I don't need any more medication. But here's the deal, you can't just go off of that, because that's like saying that, oh, because we've got this stimulating hormone, we know what the thyroid's doing. So one of the things that can happen is the pituitary gland can actually get fatigued or run down, and that will cause this deficiency in the TSH, which can make it look like, oh, you've got plenty of thyroid hormone, but you actually don't. And that is usually from some pituitary fatigue. Why would the pituitary get tired? Because the pituitary is stimulating the adrenal glands, whipping that horse all the time, over and over and over. And the pituitary, the jockey that's whipping that horse, eventually gets tired. So you've got to take a step back and figure out, is that TSH in the right range or out of range because of the thyroid or because of the pituitary gland? So that's the third one that a lot of people do not look at, and they go, oh, my number's fine, or it's off, I need medication or don't need medication, but they're not digging deeper to look at the adrenals and other systems that the pituitary stimulates. My endo won't test anything but TSH and free T4. I had a thyroidectomy for cancer. So Sharon, here's the deal, and everybody else out there. If your doctor will not run these tests, we can drop ship this blood kit to you, the same one that we use, myself, my patients, at each one of our FA offices around the country. We use this same blood test kit, and whether you're local to one of the offices or not, we can get that blood kit to you, drop ship it to your door, and we can figure out exactly what's going on. Not just the Hashimoto's markers and the free T and free T4 and the total and all these different numbers, but other autoimmune markers, ANA, rheumatoid factor. We can look at inflammatory markers, hormones, liver, gut, all these different things. So a couple $100, you get all of this blood work done that normally if you go to the lab and insurance doesn't cover it and you have to pay out of pocket, it's like $3,000. And we can do that for a couple $100. So if you're not getting the answers that you need, drop us a line, send us a direct message, get in touch with us, check out our website, whatever you need to do, and we will get that drop shipped to you. We will get this information. We'll figure out what is actually going on. Christina, what organ drives conversion? We have liver at 60%, and we have the gut 20%. Sabrina, hey, go Texas. My TSH has gone from 0.78 to 3.6 in about a year and a half. I wish I had my numbers with me right now. So just looking at TSH, 3.6 in theory is on the hypothyroid level. I don't like TSH outside 1.8 to 3 if somebody's not taking medication. So you are switching somehow, some way into a hypo state. Yep, Kimberly, you have adrenal issues. Very commonly, they go hand in hand. So if you don't have Hashimoto's and if you don't have a conversion issue, then odds are it is an adrenal pituitary issue. And you also need to work on your liver. What do you do? What tests to check the pituitary? So the best way to do that is to look at the TSH, Jessica, and see if it's making sense with where your T3 and T4 are. Great, it's probably, it's doing okay. But yeah, you've got to dig deeper for that. I've been working on my adrenals for 3 years. It's much better, but not perfect. Kimberly, number one stressor to the adrenal glands, blood sugar swings. So every time that blood sugar goes up too high or down too low, you're revving up that adrenal to tell the liver to kick out glucose and stressing out the adrenals. Number two is the alpha wave in your brain. I see people all the time. They come in taking adrenal supplements 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and they still aren't better because they're not fixing the why. You've got to fix the why. You've got to fix that blood sugar swings. And then if that alpha wave is up too high in the brain map, that's going to be anxiety, worry, rumination, and you will need neurofeedback to help calm that down. So there are things that you can do, other things besides just taking supplements. That's what we do with patients every day. So remember, guys, it's probably not your thyroid. So you have to move your feet, take this massive action. All right, guys, make it a great day.